Supercross Live on supercrossonline.com. Kevin Barnett with Geico Honda's Eli Tomac, Western Regional Lights champion. How does that sound?
It's pretty much as good as it gets. You know, it's basically a kid's dream. So to be here is just pretty much amazing, to say the least.
How different was this week coming into Vegas versus last year coming into Vegas?
Man, the stress level is definitely a little bit lower. You know, last year, like you said, I was 2 points down, and it was like, man, you got to go out there and do this, and end up coming up short. But I think this year definitely gave me that little extra drive when I needed it to go out here and get the #1 plate.
Last week, did you have any thought of wrapping up the championship? It would seem like last week was just a normal week going in to compete, and really wrapping up the championship wouldn't be on your mind, and then it happened.
Yeah, like, I mean, obviously mathematically it was possible, but for everything to actually go down like it went, and for guys to crash out the way they did, was not very likely, and it ended up happening. So when I went across the finish line, when I went across it, it was just like, yeah, I won the race. But then once I got down there, and then they actually told me I won, it was just awesome.
Fantastic. A lot's been made of your dad and the program you were on early on with his advice and him keeping you off the bike when you were younger. Did that keep you any fresher at all now for championship chases down the stretch?
Absolutely. We were definitely big on not getting burnt out in amateur stuff, because you definitely can go a little hard, I think, when you're little, because the amateur days now and mini bikes are so competitive that you can definitely overdo it, I think. So we definitely try to keep that to a minimum, to enough to where, you know, I went to all the big races and did what I needed to do, but not fry myself for later.
Is that a confidence thing? Your dad had the confidence that you guys could do the work and do the training outside of the normal round, and maybe some people are driven by the need to compete all the time and kind of see where they're at every last little moment, and you guys had the confidence of knowing that you were doing the right things at home?
Yeah, I mean, we live in Colorado too, so we're kind of out of the whole moto scene, so not being like in California or Georgia or Florida was definitely different. You know, most kids don't really come from that place, and I was lucky enough to live on a big ranch at home. I think that's a big key part of my program, is being at home with a nice practice facility, and having my dad as John Tomac to train me too.
Okay, outside of your dad, who's been your most ardent supporter or important member of Team Tomac?
Outside of my dad, it's my mom, really. You know, she's definitely the second part of the program that puts everything together.
Okay, moving on to this week, the East-West Shootout. Obviously, there's going to be a West points race, but moving on to the East-West Shootout, an opportunity to go against the East Coast guys. Every year there's discussion about East Coast versus West Coast, and you guys internally have to rib each other who are on the East or on the West, so you guys got the weaker side or this or that. It seemed like this year, more than any other year in recent memory, it was pretty even as far as the talent went. Do you look forward to going to the East Coast Shootout and getting a piece of those guys?
Absolutely. East-West Shootout's going to be great this year. I think it's even going to be better, because I think it's better that both titles are wrapped up, so then after the region main events, you know, people will still be fired up to go out there and win another race. No one's going to be sad that they lost or anything, you know, so it's going to be fun for sure.
I know the Speed Freaks guys were trying to generate some rivalry between you and Justin in the press conference. Be honest, you're going into a turn, Justin's coming to try and get inside of you. You know what's coming, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to know what's coming, and yeah, it'll be good racing.